Greetings, I'm Farstrider Melvenor, Ranger of Silvermoon. Today I'm going to tell you the story of a sacred, ancient sword that has aided our people and kept our enemies away from our lands for thousands of years. In ages past, the great dragon aspects worked alongside the night elves to forge powerful, prismatic blades that could be used to thwart any evil that came into the world. They would become known as the Blades of Quel'delar. One of these blades, the sword known as Quel'delar, the sister blade, was held by our ancestors, the Highborn. When the Highborn were banished from the Night Elven Society, they sailed away from Kalimdor, taking Quel'delar with them to their new homeland. Eventually they settled here, in the far northern corner of the Eastern Kingdoms, in a land now known as Quel'delar, and began to call themselves High Elves. The greatest of the High Elven warriors wielded Quel'delar with pride and handed it down from generation to generation. Most recently it was wielded by the valiant Thalorien Dawnseeker. Thalorien fought tirelessly in the Troll Wars to defend his beloved home of Silvermoon and all of Quel'delar. When the Scourge swept through the lands during the Third War, Thalorien was among the last lines of defense.
We must defend the Sunwell from the enemy at all costs. I am ordering you to withdraw to the Sunwell proper to help prepare the defenses. I will make my stand here and buy you as much time as I am able. Use it well and make our prince proud. It has been a great honor to fight beside you in defense of our land and our people. Listen well, Scourge Defilers. None of you will reach the Sunwell so long as I stand.
Despite the sword's power, he was ultimately slain by the overwhelming might of the Death Knight Morland Coldgrip. Quel'delar was thought to be lost forever. Following the destruction of our homeland, we, the remaining elves, began to regroup and rebuild. Prince Quel'delar, Sunstrider, in honor of the fallen, named our people Sindore, Blood Elves. It was during this time that the battle-hardened warrior Lanethel stumbled upon Quel'delar, and soon afterwards the greatest opportunity to use the blade presented itself. Prince Quel'delar raised an army and combined forces with Illidan Stormrage, who led them north to Icecrown on a mission to destroy the Lich King. Lanethel readily followed her prince with one thought in mind: revenge against the Scourge, but only tragedy awaited her. In the icy hills of Northrend, Arthas ultimately defeated Illidan and Quel'delar, and the expedition's few survivors were scattered across the frozen wastes. One by one, the Lich King sought out those who had challenged him. Lanethel found herself cornered.
This cold embrace is slowly closing in around you, elf. You will bow before Frostborn, like the rest of your kind.
Quel'delar, she struck at him with all her might, but Frostmourn's evil powers overwhelmed her.
In the end, you will all serve me.
Through his blade, the Lich King chose Lanathel to serve him in undeath as Queen of the Sandland, a group responsible for overseeing the Scourge's operations across Azeroth. Queen Lanathel eagerly carried out her new duties, but every time she looked at her blade, maddening anger would swell within her. She could not afford such distractions, and with a scream that echoed throughout Icecrown, she shattered Quel'delar and flung the fractured pieces as far as she could. However, the pieces of Quel'delar have been found recently. The time has finally come to take revenge on the Scourge, but that's another story. Now, if you'll excuse me, my duties await. May the Eternal Sun guide you. Quel'delar.